Welcome to Tuesday. It's the 18th day of January, 2022. This forecast brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. You know, you may want to check out Chugwater Chili's dip and dressing mix. It's a mix of Southwestern blend of spices, perfect for dipping crackers, vegetables, and chips. Or use it as a dry seasoning to season pork, chicken, or vegetables. Don't forget to use Chugwater Don, your discount code Chugwater Don for 20% off. Chugwater Chili, the spice of Western life. Well, we've got some colder weather coming for Wednesday. Yes, our friendly polar bear here is sending us an Arctic front, arriving late today and tonight and into Wednesday. Now, it's a glancing blow. It's not one of these Arctic fronts that stays for days, but it is kind of a signal that we're slowly going to get into a more active pattern. We've got another front arriving Thursday night and Friday. Now, that front isn't as cold, but it's a little more moist. Then a cool, quiet weekend is expected, lasting through Monday. So, this weekend, going to be a good weekend to hit the ski slopes, hit the snowmobile and the cross-country ski trails, as we'll have a little bit of fresh snow, and it looks to be a fairly quiet weekend of weather. But another front, another push of Arctic air, is probably coming into the central and parts of the West Monday night and Tuesday. The weather pattern is getting slowly more active. I think what we're going to see is a slow but steady ramp up when the weather getting more wintry and active again after a couple of weeks here where there really hasn't been much weather. Today's satellite photo shows a few things, but I want to show you up here. You see the blue? These are low stratus clouds associated with the Arctic boundary. Arctic air, I'll put an A up here, is behind this boundary. And you can see it's getting close to northern Wyoming and places like Billings and Sheridan, down to Newcastle, over towards Buffalo. Those areas, as well as western areas of South Dakota and North Dakota, we'll see this colder air move in later today and this evening. The Arctic boundary with this front will be going along and near and east of the Continental Divide, all the way down to Colorado Springs and Denver into eastern Colorado by tomorrow. Out here in the Pacific, you can see quite a bit of cloudiness. There is some low pressure systems out here that will end up affecting us later on. As we go forward, this is the weather forecast chart for this afternoon. Notice this little dimple right here where the blue colors and the green colors jut out a little bit. This is where the deeper Arctic air is, and winds aloft are coming in from the north-northwest. So that's what's going to bring in the colder air into the western high plains. This wave of cold is mainly going to be along and east of the divide. One thing to remember about cold air is more dense. It always wants to be closer to the ground. And so you have to have it deep enough to get over the Continental Divide for western slope areas to see that leakage of Arctic air getting into the western slope. That's not going to happen with this front. So what will happen is the Arctic air will come in like this late tonight and Wednesday. Then it will move upslope with a bit of a north to northeast wind flow. That's going to make it kind of soupy. The I-25 corridor of Colorado and Wyoming, I-80 into western Nebraska, western areas of Kansas, I see a soupy mix of freezing drizzle, fog, and a little bit of light snow. So while the snow is not going to be impressive, it is going to be kind of soupy out there where things can get icy real quick. Sometimes a half inch of snow and a little bit of a glaze of ice is worse than a foot of snow if traveling. These are the temperature anomalies by Wednesday afternoon. You can see the green here. That's where the Arctic air is backed up to the Continental Divide. We got a blue norther coming into North Texas with this wave. And look at the cold. There are going to be some sub-zero 20, 25 degree below temperatures, Fahrenheit, 20 to 25 degree below zero temperatures in this area right here. Many parts of Iowa got over a foot of snow this past weekend. So with that snowpack in the Midwest, well, it's going to be easy for these air masses out of Canada to penetrate further south, and we're going to see that. This is the first front. This is the snowfall forecast. This is from late tonight through tomorrow and into Thursday morning. So you can see there's very little pink in the map here, except up in the Montana, the Bitterroot, up into those areas there. But as you get along an eastern divide, you see the gray. So these are light amounts. But again, as I just mentioned, it could be icy accumulations, just enough to really make things slick out there. Then what we see by Friday, is a penetration of the colder air into Texas. Very cold in the Corn Belt and Midwest. I mean, these are some of the coldest temperatures of the year for some very heavy populated areas. And then you can see all the way to the Gulf. That cold air is pushing on in. And this is just not the only Arctic push that's going to go into the deep south. As we get into looking at temperatures by Friday morning, you can see in the southern plains, we've got many areas in the teens and mid-20s. We're looking at temperatures down into the low to mid-30s, all the way down here to the Gulf Coast. So we're going to continue to see those penetrations. Now by Friday, here is the next little ripple. We've got a low coming into about the Salt Lake area, northwest flow aloft. So what this will do is this will spread some precipitation. Now the Arctic intrusion is not going to be as impressive with this one. So it's not going to be as cold Thursday night and Friday, but the system is a little more moist. And notice we get snow west of the divide with this system. Again, this is a minor snow event, but certainly it's going to be enough to cause some travel concerns along the higher elevations of Montana, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, even the Arizona, New Mexico, then out across the Dakotas and western Nebraska. Just enough to be a nuisance. Now, going out farther, this is for Tuesday morning of next week. Notice we got a kink. See this kink? When you see kinks like this coming out of Canada, that's a pocket of really cold air. There's another little minor kink right here of cold air, and the winds aloft are coming in from the northwest, and the penetration of those northerly winds is west of the Continental Divide. So this is what I mean about a slow transition to the weather getting more active, not all at once, but kind of ramping on up. So Monday night into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, there's likely going to be another light snow event. Not a big snow event, but a light snow event. And it gets really cold again, especially along and east of the divide. Look at temperatures relative to average by next Wednesday. So a large swath of the U.S., eastern Canada, really, really cold. Now you see this red up here? These are just warmer than normal. What this usually does, when you see warmer than normal temperatures in central and northwest Canada, that means there's a displacement of that air in the lower latitude. So it doesn't mean it's warm. It's still really cold up there, but the coldest air is displaced relative to 30-year normals more to the south and east. And notice we've got cold air up in Alaska building up again, and this will cause a cold pocket that'll come up and down and over again. So the signals remain in place that late January into early February, there's going to be plenty of cold moving into the lower 48 states. Now this is 15 days out. This is looking all the way into the 1st and 2nd of February. As long as we have a high pressure ridge that wants to be in the Gulf of Alaska, we're going to have the door open into the central and western United States for more visits from our friends in the Great White North. So while we have had fairly quiet weather here for the last week and a half or so, things are slowly going to be getting more wintry. So livestock interests and travel interests, keep that in mind. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.